Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Very special edition today. We're doing a deep what's in the bag dive with our good pal Mac Boucher.
Yeah, looking
nice to
forward
see you,
to
buddy.
it. Yeah, you as well.
Okay, this has been a long time coming. We've talked about doing this for a while. You did make your debut on the channel a year ago.
Yep.
You ended up in hospital after it.
I was swinging a little too hard at it.
Literally popped a rib out mid
Driver
fit.
Yeah.
We were trying to get Max set up. You were getting ready to go to Dubai.
I think it was New Zealand actually.
It was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago now, actually.
Holy,
Yeah,
I thought it was the Dubai trip. So it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're making it happen. It's been well overdue. So we're going to run through your bag, guys. If you don't know Mac's shtick, hell of a player, hell of a teacher, but you play it your own way. You've always played the game your own way.
Yeah, it's always been a unique skill set of mine that I kind of just do things my own way. I don't really conform to what maybe people tell you to do. But for the most part, I just kind of make things up and just kind of do what works for me.
It's very much the left side of the brain, right side of the brain kind of argument, and you and I would probably be opposite sides of that. Like, I'm very analytical at, everything has to make sense. You just want to be creative.
Correct.
In your mind, you paint pictures of shots you want to see, and that's how I've seen you hit some of the most unbelievable shots that anyone's ever seen, and there's probably not that many people out there who can do what you do. I mean, they talk about obviously Bubba and his creativity. I mean, you are that, and maybe some.
Yeah, and I think it comes from my creative background as a person. I'm kind of a creative person off the golf course, so I've tried to incorporate that into my own golf to kind of find a way that works best for me. Obviously, it doesn't work best for everyone, but it's something that I enjoy doing when I'm on the course. It kind of makes me feel like I'm comfortable and free myself up a bit. So
something we've never talked about, and just as you said that, it's kind of running through my mind. Did you feel like that was when you were playing Canadian Tour and trying to kind of obviously play professionally? Did you feel like you had to conform to play the game straightforward the way everyone else was?
Yeah, I think because I was self-taught for quite some years, and then when I started seeing a coach, I started finding myself reverting from that and getting away from being the creative person I was and becoming a bit more of like a range robot where I just kind of had to conform to someone else's theories. And I think because of that, it probably set me back a little bit. I think I'm playing some of the best golf now just because I am freed up and it doesn't matter what I shoot anymore. It's kind of, I just enjoy the game and I enjoy getting out there. So, yeah.
And you kind of, the driver was the problem for a while, and Max worked with us here at TXG, and I know your game well enough to know that you had just the block was the problem in your game, but once you kind of went, you don't have to stand and hit a straight shot, and you kind of worked that into being basically a bit of a,
it's like a push fade essentially.
Push fade, so that from the inside, hang the face a little open, but you can still, you've got tons of speed, so it doesn't really rob you of much distance.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing that people notice with my ball flight. They're like, how do you hit it 300 yards while curving it that much? My tack angle's still quite up, so my spin levels stay relatively neutral for a longer driver, and it just curves. So I've made what I do naturally work, I guess, and I went through a little bit of a dark stage there for a while, but it seemed to kind of get on the right path. Yeah, we all do.
We all do it. Yeah. Let's start at the very, very top. TaylorMade Sim OG 9-degree. Righty sleeve or lefty sleeve?
It's a righty sleeve.
Righty sleeve, okay. So on higher setting, but as a righty sleeve, it actually turns it to lower setting, so 7 degrees. Another reason why when you play the push cut, hitting up on it with low loft, keeps that spin loft window down, high launch, low spin, high ball speed, still a great combo.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about this. We spoke about your driver setup. Mac has the weight all the way in the toe here. Yeah,
so I've always been the type of person that hits kind of high toe. That's always been a place where I've favored on the shot just because I avoid the heel. Yeah, totally. I think the heel is the bad strike for me that kicks up spin. It makes my ball curve too far left. So for me, getting that toe strike is super important. So I've jammed all that weight in the toe to kind of counterbalance that so the face stays a little bit more stable. And it allows me to kind of have the shape that I like to see.
You've got the Gary Woodland Special, the Accra Tour Z RPG 472 M5 Plus, exactly what we fit Gary into at the Canadian Open a few years ago. This is a big boy shaft. Yeah. This is something that for you will make sure that you don't get the rights going.
Correct. Yeah, that's it's a very stable feeling, and for me, I need the stability in a driver shaft just to make sure I know where the face is and know what it's doing.
Love it, love it. you've been a big fan of Acra shafts for a long time.
Yeah, I've pretty much used Acra in my driver for quite some time now, and I can't see myself steering away from them. They've been awesome to me and feel great.
So we're going to take a little step back in time to this old guy, the Tour Edge Exotics. Talk to me about this one.
Yeah, so I got that originally. A friend of mine gave it to me one of my first years playing kind of higher level amateur golf. I just kind of liked what it did. It's seen a few shafts. I actually saw Ian, would have been in 2011 or 12.
Yeah, yep.
He kind of got me set up with an Acra shaft in that one, kind of retrofitted it to make it work, and it's just never left my bag. It does what I want to. I can get it out there 290 with like a draw off the tee, or I can hit a spinny cut that goes 240 into a par 5. So it kind of covers all the bases that I want. The shaft that's in it now is trying to do some stupid trick shot in Dubai, and
I remember.
Snapped the Acra, and I needed a quick fix. So my buddy Alex Riggs in Dubai gave me a little backup shaft to his that I believe was actually sent to Rory at some point. So
this was once upon a time Rory McIlroy's fairway of choice to try. I don't think he ever played it.
No.
Probably around the time that he was coming out of the P95 Fujikura shaft, he probably tried this around that time. Spec-wise. Oban Kiyoshi purple, a phenomenal fairway wood shaft, little bit more on the tip soft side of things, really, really good for kicking up the fairway wood a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a great replacement. Again, not a fit, just tossed it in because I didn't have an option, and I actually have loved the way it's felt. So
tons of lead tape in the bottom of that, but nothing compared to this, this bad boy. Talk to me about this.
So I got that when I was 18, one of my first years of golf. I bought it used at Golf Town. It honestly has stayed in my bag since. It's seen probably 5 different shafts as my swings kind of evolved. Again, it does what I want it to. It's not like a thing that I could probably get something that's more performance-based out of the current stuff, but for me, it does what I want it to, so why change it? So that's always been my motto at the top end of my bag, that if it does the shots that I need it to, then I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not like you're standing there trying to hit straight shots 270, then the next one 250. Like, that's not your deal.
Correct.
You need it to be, you need it to be turning to 280. You need to be cutting it up to 225. It's got to have the range of shots and the versatility for you, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Tons of weight in the bottom of it. It's the Adams idea, the peanut that you guys will be familiar with. I mean, you can't even see the loft on it. It's caked in so much lead tape. We'll take some pictures and do some close-ups of it. What loft is it?
I believe it's 19.
19.
But don't even quote me on that because it's been a while. So.
And one of those things, like you said to me earlier on, it doesn't matter, does it?
No, and that's the thing for me. Loft doesn't matter. As it's going the yardage that I need it to, then it serves its purpose. So.
Acra Concept Series, the 80 gram M5. Really, really good shaft, stable. This was Acra's first sort of go at the really, really high-end premium shafts used by Vijay Singh, used by a ton of tour players at the time, and actually was the sort of first shaft that allowed them to sort of make the high-end shafts they are right now. Really, really good stuff. Talk to me about the irons. Yeah,
so the irons are new this year. I've kind of dabbled a bit into some other brands. I was always a Mira player. Ian fit me into Miras. Right. That would have been, again, 2011-ish. I used Mira for quite some time. Switched to a set of Callaway Apex MBs for a couple seasons. Love them. I've put these ones in the bag, and they've been awesome as well. So I've always played blades just because it gives me the most versatility to kind of work the ball, which I need to have, less offset, all that stuff. So they've been great.
P7 MBs. So you're pretty happy with what's going on here.
Yeah.
These we just chatted about before we jumped on here to start this section. You're not as happy with these, and there's a kind of flight window.
So I love them in like the 879 or 987 kind of realm, but then up into the 4 iron, I'm noticing they're ballooning a little bit.
So a little bit.
For me, I went through. I didn't necessarily get fit for them. I put the shaft that I've always used in them. Right. So I love the heads. I just think the shaft's doing something a little strange for my spin window and launch window for the longer irons, but I love the feel of the irons.
you were in S tapers in those Apex MBs.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe something in the delivery that you can deliver it a certain way, trying to make a set work, and then you move back into something you had, and it no longer really works as well.
Correct.
But we'll move into having a look at that. Lovely set of irons. I mean, they are great looking irons. You carry them 4 through to 9 iron.
Correct.
And then your wedges, your pitching wedge matches your wedges.
Yeah, so I've always used a 46 degree just instead of the pitching wedge, just because it looks more like a scoring club to me. So psychologically, it gives me the feeling like more loft.
Yeah, and same deal. Closed shots, closed face shots that go 150, open face shots that go 100. Versatility. Obviously, for player, your ability, control, you want the attributes the face gives you, which is spin consistency. You don't want any inconsistencies in ball speed. You don't need jumpers. You don't need any of that stuff. That's why you use blades. What advice could you give people about why to maybe think about using a Vokey or a specific specialty wedge as a pitching wedge?
Yeah, so again, for me, it's a visual thing. So when I look down at that pitching wedge, it looks like a sand wedge. It looks like a kind of a gap wedge, which are, again, scoring clubs where I'm expecting to put the ball close to the hole. So it gives me that same feeling that I'm using a scoring club, I guess. A lot of pitching wedges I find look a little bit funny in my eye, so I just don't feel as confident with it. So that's my reasoning for it.
Okay. 46, 10, 52, 12, 56, 12 D grind, same as mine. Yep. All X100s?
X100s in them, yeah. Again, never really steered away from it. Okay. So I do have the MG3 wedges coming. Really looking forward to them.
Yeah, they're really nice.
They're awesome. I love them, so I'm excited to get them in the bag.
This is a newbie. We just built this one for you on Friday.
Yeah, so Mikey over at Mississauga there built me up that. I'm going Acra in the wedge shafts I love the feel of them. I love that soft kind of feel. So we're gonna try that.
Acra, True Temper, under the same banner now. You can never replicate a shaft if you're from graphite and steel, but if there ever was one that replicated it, this is a pretty good play on a graphite S400.
Yep.
So curious when you get a bit more time with it. I mean, see, you've been hitting a few shots with it, some nice patterns with it already, but you like the high toe stuff?
Yeah. So for me, I've used the 60 degree high toe since high toe got released.
Right.
What year was that? That was a while ago now.
Probably 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
ago
So the first generation of high toe I used, and it stayed in my bag since. So I actually just replaced my old one, but it was 3 years old. It was well overdue, and it just makes shots around the green and getting creative a lot easier for me.
Putter, we have Spider Tour. Talk to me about this guy.
Yeah, so I was always a blade putter before. Again, putting has always been a little bit streaky for me, and I found the most consistency in that putter. Find from like the mid-range distance, it's by far the best. I've kind of rolled it. The quad tour grip, I can't see myself using a different grip.
Really?
Honestly, it feels unbelievable in my hand. So that's definitely a putter that's staying in the bag for a while.
Loft turned down a little bit on this guy.
Yeah, so I was finding that it was skipping a little bit. I was noticing on dewy morning greens, I could see the ball skipping. So we cranked down the loft to significantly under loft.
I mean, I was saying to you when I was looking at it earlier on that you can see where the shaft points backwards. So to get that shaft back to neutral, you actually don't have any loft left on. It's probably 0 in the loft. When the center of gravity gets that far away from the face, it encourages lots of forward momentum, launch angle goes up. It's not really what we want, so that when you see that skipping ball kind of roll on the dewy mornings where it's just really taking probably 2-3 feet to even get traction, that's exactly what you would have been getting with that. So turning the loft down makes a lot of sense on that guy.
Yep.
Golf ball, what are you
so I'm TP5X. Been using the Pix one, just something different. But again, TP5X is kind of what I've been using since they released the TP5X a couple of years ago.
Yep.
I'm not one to kind of steer away from what feels comfortable to me.
Love it.
Yep.
Glove?
The glove, I'm using an Invictus glove. It's a new company actually out of Montreal. They made football gloves originally, and they're getting into the golf scene now. They're awesome.
That's kind of the
it's
same
pretty
material.
Cool. Yeah, Cabretta leather. They're awesome. Super lightweight.
Super lightweight.
Very light. Like one of the lightest gloves I've used. So they've been absolutely awesome. definitely check them out.
So you and I wear the same glove size, right? So that's a medium. Talk to me about your grips, because they're massive.
Yeah, so I go quite a lot of wraps of tape, and it's because I am so handsy. So I find, again, this is just my own feeling, is when I go a little bigger grip, it quiets my hands down a little bit.
Yep.
So it gives me the most feel-wise in terms of not getting too handsy, but allowing me to still have some. I use a big grip in my lob wedge, and then I have 6 wraps of tape under my irons, I believe. So
Right.
I go pretty big, and then I build up the bottom hand as well. Even on the +4, I like to have a couple extra wraps of tape underneath.
So you're probably somewhere around with the +4 already, you've got your 6 wraps, then a couple extra. I mean, you might be upwards of 10, 12 wraps in that bottom hand.
Yeah, it's pretty built up. It's very, like, again, I don't know if it's just a thing that people that like to move the ball, like Bubba.
Yeah,
I know
Bubba,
Bubba's
huge.
massive on the bottom hand, but
Yeah.
it's something that just, again, feels most comfortable to me. So I took a few years of experimenting, finding what worked, but it definitely what feels most comfortable to me.
This is all cool, and this is stuff I've mostly seen before. This guy,
Yeah.
I've not seen before.
So this bag, I reached out to them about a month ago. It's called Minimal. They're MNML. They're out of California. Built-in solar panel,
This
which
thing's
is pretty
wild.
cool. It's good for me. Again, I take so many videos on the golf course, my phone dies after 3 holes, so it's
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
having a backup that it's built in. It's got the cord to charge, built-in speaker. Again, charge the speaker through the cord here. Magnetic pockets, which is something
nuts.
pretty unique, and it's really handy just to not have to worry about always zipping up your pockets.
And tons of space. I mean, that bottom section there has so much space.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then the video pocket. So here, set up my phone on the driving range there, and I can actually slide my phone right in here and video my swings. So again, it's a pretty new company. Price point on them is awesome. They would pretty much rival any other bag on the market, and super lightweight. Pretty cool bag.
Love it. Absolutely love it. That's got something, the phone charger, the built-in speaker, the solar panel. I mean, that stuff is,
Yeah,
I've never seen that in a bag before.
they're pretty innovative. It's
love
pretty
it.
cool that they've come up with
Love
something like that at a good price point, because you'd normally see that stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it
Normally
just
you'd be
skyrocket.
skyrocket. It's almost like the more minimalist bags get, the more expensive. We were
Yeah.
down at Pinehurst and saw some Mackenzie bags, which are really nice, $800, things
Yeah,
like that.
wild.
I mean, this thing has all the bells and whistles and is a third of the price.
Yeah.
Very cool. Let's hit some, because
Yeah.
all the talk about shot shaping and this and that. I think the people got to see the way that you see the game, and I'd love you to kind of talk us through that a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to talk through some of Mac's shot shapes that he likes to see. You don't really hit a stock shot, or like a stock straight one, but do me a favor, just for the purposes of just explaining how you move off of neutral. Hit me something that looks pretty straight. Right on cue. The nicest little draw you'll ever see. Okay, 170, 8 iron, boom, neutral, right? 1 degree, out to in, 4 down, bingo.
I mean, I'm capable of doing a straight shot. It
Yeah.
just feels forced, and my miss generally is bigger, which is
Yeah.
what I always explain to people. I don't know if it's going to go left. I don't know if it's going to go right.
Right.
It's a lot of face control for me. I can control my path great, but if that little bit of face is off, then it really gets me.
We call it the curse of the neutral golfer.
100%.
Well, anytime you get, that neutral, the face doesn't need to be, much one way or the other. Whereas if your path is going 7 degrees in to out, the likelihood is the face is somewhere right of that.
Correct.
For a lefty, which is, it's at least always moving back to the target at that point. So what would you normally do? So 170 out, you've flushed a driver. What's the play?
So depending on where the pin is, that's kind of a big indication of which direction I'm going to go with it.
Yep.
I do like hitting a fade with my irons, like it is something that feels natural. Or if it's a back, anything on the right side, I normally hit a big swooping draw. It just feels, again, a little bit more comfortable to me. I know my miss is generally an overcooked draw, so I know where it's going. It eliminates the one big miss.
So say it's a back right pin.
Yeah.
Like is 180 kind of your number where you'd be thinking 8 iron?
Yeah, with a release point, yeah, I would say 180 is probably
Because
pretty comfortable.
we're de-lofting it, we're going to be taking that, and these are fairly standard lofts for you, so 30, where we 38 on the loft here. Probably impact you're turning it down to, you know, nearly a 6-iron.
Yeah, and that's the thing that people, I guess, I always get asked, like, do your slingers go less distance? You have to club up. And I'm like, in theory, you actually have to club down because it's like you're de-lofting the club so much, which is making up for that curve. So
generally speaking as well, when people throw the path as much into it as you're about to, you have to actually increase the rate of rotation, which increases the club head speed to get the club to square up, because your path's going so far away from the target. To get the face to the target, it needs a lot of hand speed. So there's your back right pin. Perfect. Absolutely.
So again, that's like what I would consider if I overturn it, but I rarely block it out to the left. So for me, I can play that knowing that if I overcook it, I'm okay. Obviously, if it's treble right, then I make a different adjustment to that.
So there was my point there about your stock 8-iron speed 91, your draw 8-iron speed 98, and that's not just you know, ball speed being de-lofted by the hooded club. That's you having to increase your speed in order to achieve that. So that's pretty cool to see. I mean, that is went sideways. 26.8 degrees into out. Faces 19.2 open to the target. In order to hit the ball that far left, the ball is going to start on the line of the face. It has to be closed though to that target, closed to that path in order to bend back. I mean, that's a wild scene. 8-iron with 19.2 degrees of dynamic loft in order to achieve that 178 carry. So when you cut one up, when you kind of soften one, what does that look like for you?
So generally I weaken my top hand a little bit, get my grip a little bit of a change, which again, it's not something I would suggest everyone tweaking their grip per shot, but it's something that I feel comfortable doing.
What distance does it go?
Generally, it goes significantly shorter. I'd say it's a full club shorter, so it'd be like a stock 9-iron would be the distance it would go. So if I'm normally hitting a 9-iron 160, if I'm hitting a cut 8-iron, it's going to go about 160.
160. Okay, let's see that. I mean, that's perfect. And it's always a little bit harder to shape the ball with the more loft you apply. So if we look at, there's your hook and there's your cut. They're separated by, 4 clubs or so. Big difference. Delivered speed, big difference. Huge discrepancy in path, angle of attack, everything. Everything kind of changes for that. Let's see what the ball does. Yeah, launch and spin differences are massive as well. You were saying 4-iron's been a bit of a kind of odd one for you, not maybe seeing the same flight window that you used to out your Apex MBs. Let's just hit a couple and see exactly what our flight window looks like. Pretty good. So 220 was what you thought it went. It was right on that number. And you like to just slide the 4-iron in?
Yeah, so I play longer irons like I play with my driver. I open my stance up. Generally open stance and really feel like I just kind of slide it, essentially. It's the same feeling as what I do with the driver. Again, I can hit the big draw and the big sweep if I need to, but generally speaking, I like to get the 4-iron off the ground. Yeah,
and you can see from your delivery, you don't really like to shift the path too far right out to in when it comes to this. You actually like to hold it pretty neutral and then just use the face.
Yeah, it's the face.
Just manage the face through impact.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of slide in there because you do shallow quite a lot, so there's not too much of a kind of downward blow. I think that's a good lesson for people to hit the cut, and those are pretty straight, very gentle little cuts, but you don't have to be slamming the club into the ground in order to do that. I think keeping the right amount of dynamic loft while being fairly shallow, maybe 2 degrees down is ideal. You're about 170. I love that. Okay, what's our thought process here? What are we thinking?
So again, I stand quite open with the driver. I hit essentially a safety slice.
Yeah.
That's my.
Slice, yeah.
I went through a really dark period with the driver a few years ago when I was playing full time, where I was hitting it 90 yards left or snap hooking it because I was scared of hitting it 90 yards left. So because of that, I've incorporated kind of some different ways for me to get off the tee comfortably, and one of that is hitting a massive peeler, essentially, where if the hole gets tight, I tee it super low and hit like a little squeeze cut. If the hole's wide open, I'll tee it high and swing as hard as I can, essentially.
Love it. So that's you right there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't catch that dead middle, but I know where it's going most of the time. It's predictable miss for me most of the time, where I know it's going to either leak a little bit too left to the left side of the fairway. Generally, I rarely double cross it.
Definitely something to be said for building your driver to protect you, and kind of make you feel more comfortable. Yours is very much built like I did last year. Same shaft, same head, same weight setup. And I was trying to eliminate the left side for me as well. That's just a really safe way to play the game, and yours is exactly the same. I mean, 13-3 launch, and you caught it low.
Yeah, I didn't hit that one well.
But it didn't spin like crazy, and you were super efficient with it. That's probably why the drivers worked so well for you.
I find that miss hits with this driver for me just work. That's something that
still goes 310, 315.
Yeah.
And that's your draw, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
my
excuse of one.
Yeah, take all the spin out of it. It's probably 1700 spin. Yeah, 1600 right on the nose. Hit up on it more, change the path. So two totally different swings. It's a different way to play the game, but it's a lot of fun, and I think that's why you've had so much fun with social media, isn't it?
Nothing I do is just for Instagram. It's how I play, and people that know me know that's how I've always played. You're kind of the one that inspired me to get on the social media because I felt like I did stuff a little differently. I had a unique skill set. So it's something, I'm just trying to show that there's more than one cookie cutter way to play golf, and can enjoy the game in lots of different ways. So that's been my big thing from it.
You don't do this just for show. This is golf for you. This is how you enjoy the game. If you had to play hitting straight shots, you probably wouldn't play the game.
I get bored.
Yeah, you
honestly.
would get bored. Like that creativity, if you didn't have that, outlet, and now a chance to showcase that outlet, I mean, that's probably giving you a whole new lease of life for golf.
And 100%. It's made me enjoy the game even more now that I love it. I mean, I don't play for a living anymore. It doesn't really matter what I shoot. I can still put up good numbers, but if I shoot 85, it really doesn't matter. So that's been good for me.
Love it. Mac Boucher Golf on Instagram. That's where you do most of it. You do a lot on TikTok as well?
Got a TikTok, but I'm not a huge fan of it over there.
Okay, Instagram is where you do most of it. Every day, one hole vlogs every single day?
Yeah, I try to post a couple times a day just to keep the content flowing, I guess.
Keep it consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
That's obviously the key as well. You're coaching out this summertime. You're out at Muskoka Bay Golf Club up north of us, a couple hours north. Correct. One of the best.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool spending the summer up there. It's a good part of Ontario.
For sure. Okay, guys, I've kind of been dangling the carrot a little bit. We'll get two really talented lefties on the team. Mr. Bloy's over there. Mac obviously does it his way. We're trying to tee up a festive special. Something you're heading to Dubai when?
December 2nd.
December 2nd. Sometime in November, I want to film a match, 18-hole match with these boys. I think it would be a lot of fun. The way Mac plays, the way Matty plays. I think we can get Mikey and I commentating on it. I think that would be a blast.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
That'd be good. Okay. All right. Deep dive into Mac's bag. Love it. We'll probably do some more of that stuff. I want to play with some of those woods and stuff like before you go as well, and may end up doing that in the channel.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for having me.
No worries, my boy. Guys, stay tuned. Find Mac on Instagram. Follow him on there. As I say, every single day posting vlogs of the courses he plays and the way he plays. It's just fun. It's a lot of fun to watch, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you again soon.